You ask an AI for a landing page. You get a centered hero, a soft gradient, 3 feature cards, and a Get Started button that could belong to any of 10,000 other apps. Generate another one. You get its cousin. Here's why. The model is designing from the averaged out blur of 1 million SaaS sites it absorbed during training. You're looking at the mean of the internet, and no amount of prompt wrangling fixes a sampling problem. In this video, I'm going to show you how to extract a real design system from a website you like, and hand it to an AI so it stops averaging and starts building with intention. Here's the thing. Every design choice a site makes leaves a receipt. The exact color, the exact spacing, the exact size. All recorded right there in the page's own code. So I built a skill that reads every one of those receipts straight out of the site and writes them into a single file, DESIGN.md, that you can hand to an AI. The whole design system exact in one file. Now, in terms of setup, 3 moving parts and only one is strictly required. First, playwright-cli, the browser engine that does the reading and the screenshots. 1 install and you're done. Second, Firecrawl. This handles the page discovery step. It's optional, but recommended. Without it, the skill falls back to thinner link discovery. If you don't have Firecrawl running yet, I made a whole video on running it for free in the cloud. Self-hosted, no credit card, no API keys. I'll put the link in the description. And third, the skill itself. 1 command to install. That's the whole setup. One-time cost, and from here it's a single command per site. So let me show you what this looks like in practice. I pointed the skill at my own website. Quick note on why I used my own site. Design tokens, a hex value, a font size, those aren't really the kind of thing anyone owns. But cloning someone's homepage pixel for pixel is a whole different legal story. So I used my own site as a safe example. Now Claude verified the tools, created an output folder, and mapped the site. And then it did the one thing I wish more tools would do. It stopped and asked me to confirm which pages to sample before spending any time crawling. It auto-picked 5 pages and even pre-baked the option I wanted. I dropped the contact page. It's the second form page on the site, and the newsletter page already covers form inputs, so it would only add redundant noise. From there, it ran basically hands-off. Inspect the pages, pull the styles, check its own work. A couple of minutes later, done. And the report is refreshingly honest. It only wrote down what's actually on the site. No dark mode it never saw, no components that aren't there. It even caught colors the site ships but never uses, and flagged them as unused instead of pretending they were part of the design. That honesty is the whole feature. Now let me show you the actual file. It's one file with 2 layers. Up top, every design value an agent needs, each one labeled with the job it does, not just a wall of hex codes. And below that, the part I really like. Plain English rules that describe the design's taste. Little things like 1 filled black button per view. That's what teaches a model your style, not just your colors. And the best part, official tooling exports the whole thing straight into a real project. Now, a design spec is only worth something if a model can actually build from it. So let's test it somewhere the original site has never been seen. I uploaded the design.md to Claude Design, Anthropic's design tool currently in beta, chose Sonnet 5, and asked for a landing page for a fake developer tool called Devlog. And like a good collaborator, it came back with questions first, which sections to include, what the primary call to action should do, whether the product is free or paid. But 2 of those questions are the tell that it actually read the file. It noticed the source voice was blunt and editorial, and asked if I wanted to keep that tone. And it noticed the homepage's 50-50 split panel, and asked whether to swap it for a board visual. It didn't just read my colors, it read my design's intent. I answered a few and let it decide the rest. And here's where it landed. And honestly, I'd ship this. Not good for AI, actually on brand. It looks like something I would put out. The same stark black and white restraint. 1 confident button instead of 5. The same calm layout the whole way down. And that's what matters. Match my design system this closely. The reason it works is simple. My source is minimal, so the output is minimal. Feed it something bold and colourful, you'd get bold and colourful back. The tool mirrors whatever you give it. Consistency was the whole goal, and the file delivered. Now in terms of how you can actually put this to work. Brand consistency. Extract your own site once, drop the DESIGN.md in your repo, and every new page Claude Code builds inherits the look. Client work. Capture a client's existing system, so AI-built additions match what they already have. And honest inspiration. Point it at a site you like, one you have the right to reference, and use the extracted system as a starting point. You transform into something your own. That last one is where the ethically part comes in. Tokens aren't copyrightable, but wholesale cloning is a different story. Use the Sharp tool responsibly. I'll put the install command and all the links in the description. Give it a shot. Point it at a design you actually like, and build something that finally looks like something specific. If you found this useful, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.